Welcome back to the World Junior Curling Championships 2013, coming to you live from the Ice Cube Curling Centre here in Sochi, Russia. My name is Sander Elvog, and I'm joined by the lovely Sarah Carlson.
Lovely to join you, Sander.
Our future game today is between Italy and Norway in the men's draw. And we're going to take a look at the standings. So far, we have Canada and Italy on top, unbeaten, 2 wins each. Norway at 1 win, but they've only played the 1 game so far. Scotland at 1 win as well.
Yes, and we saw yesterday Sweden beat USA after having lost to Norway in their first game, so they are 1-1.
Yeah. Obviously, we only have 4 sheets out here. It's a test event for the Olympics where you only have 4 sheets. So some of the teams does have what we call a bye, so they won't play. That's why we have teams that only play 1 game and teams that play 2. This will even out as the week progresses. And now you have Italy against Norway. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a tight game. Maybe get some stones to play. Italy blanked the first 4 ends against the Czechs yesterday. But we'll see. Take a look at the bottom of the standings. USA at 1-1. China looked very strong in Scotland yesterday and just threw away the game in the end. Gave up a steal of 2 in the 9th and another one in the 10th to forfeit. Stuff on them, I think. And we see the Czechs and Russia at 2 losses so far. Russia, home nation, hasn't really impressed so far, but they're a good team. I play them myself, so I think you'll expect them to win a couple of games this week.
Yeah, even Czech Republic have been quite close. They lost their first game to USA in the extra end. And, well, the Czech girls sure had a big development last year, so this year we'll see if the boys can follow.
We're going to take a look at the team lineups for this draw.
Here you see Team Italy with Roberto Arman, Daniel Ferrasa, Andrea Pilzer and Amos Mosaner. Their alternate is Sebastiano Arman and team coach is Wolfgang Burba.
Yeah, Pilzer skipped the team last year in Östersund, but they decided to swap it up a little bit this season. I think they started off with the original lineup from last season, but around October, November they swapped it up, so a bit different for them. Norway, on the other hand, also swapped it up from yesterday. Had lead Gaute Nepstad instead of Wilhelm Ness. He's on the bench on this occasion. Second is Martin Sesaki. Third, Markus Skogvold. And skip Eirik Mjøen. Team coach is Ole Ingvaldsen, also the guy that coaches Team Ulster, the men's national team back in Norway. Stone colours, Italy, they'll be throwing the red ones. Norway, the yellow. Skip Eirik Mjøen drew close to the pin to get the hammer, and it's on the first end. So it's Italy that's going to be starting off.
So after honouring the Swiss team here in the Ice Cube Curling Centre in Sochi, players will now have some warm-up slides and then we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, a lot of preparations for the games. Usually come in, I don't know, 90 minutes before the game starts.
Yeah, both teams have had practice on the sheet before the game, so the practice time will start half an hour before every game, and you definitely want to be warmed up and changed and ready by then.
You have coaches as well, and you have team meetings. You'll discuss the stones and just have a chat about the game. There's plenty of time during an event like this. Usually don't play more than 2 games, or never play more than 2 games. So, although you only play 1 or 2 games, I think it's kind of stressful. Really need to focus on just getting as much sleep as you can and eating as much as you can. So, although you might not play as much as you do in some championships back home, it does take a toll. Here we see a lead for Italy, Roberto Armand.
How much difference do you think it is playing a 10-end game instead of an 8-end game?
Well, I think main thing is if you give up a couple of points and you trail the game, it's a lot bigger chance of getting back into it. But you just, I think you need to be a bit more patient when you're playing with 10 ends. You don't really have to, if you give up a 2 or 3 in the first end, you don't have to panic. Still 9 ends to go, so plenty of time.
We saw Sweden yesterday, gave up 3 in the first end and then 1. As you get your first look at Gaute Nepstad, who plays lead for Norway.
Yeah, we had Wilhelm Ness play lead in the previous game for Norway when they beat Sweden. Today, Gaute Nepstad hits the ice. Doesn't start off on the right foot here. Might be some nerves. First shot of the championships for him. And Italy now has an early chance to split the rings. Do you ever fancy just throwing a centre guard here, maybe?
For Italy?
Yeah.
Well, they do have... No, they don't have hammer. I was thinking that they did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, their shot stone is a little bit to the side, so if you throw a centre guard, you could always have your opponent hit and roll, and I think they do prefer this first end quite open.
Could guard your shot stone as well.
Definitely.
Maybe just like half and half. Problem drawing the wing is you end up with a corner guard, which just happened. Especially on the first end, I think it's a bit tricky to just draw the wing like that. You might not have the speed. And you could have seen Norway just drawing around the corner guard, but going to be a bit defensive here to start off with.
I think that is also often the case with the 10-end games. Quite often we see teams being very defensive with the first 1 or 2 ends and just kind of save yourself some time on the clock and play them through. This is Daniel Ferrasa, second for Italy. They finished 9th place at the World Juniors last year in Östersund.
Yeah, dropped down to the qualification event. Won it again this year. So won it back-to-back now. Talking to Vice Skip Pilser. He said that it'd be nice to keep their spot in the World Juniors for next year, not having to qualify again. Although Pilser himself won't be playing next year. He's too old then. It's his last year. It'd be nice to do well. Martin Sessaker, second for Norway. Played the Youth Olympics in Innsbruck in 2012. Got silver in the mixed doubles event, playing with a girl from Korea. We're mixing up the nations there. So Italy played against the Czech Republic yesterday. 4 blank ends to start off with. Apparently that was the Czechs' fault, according to Pilser anyway. That felt like they were playing very defensive. Asked them if they were going to have an aggressive game or a defensive game. And Skip Amos Mosander told me they might be a bit defensive. So we'll see.
Why would you choose to be defensive if you're Italy?
Well, if they feel that they're a better team and they make more shots, you'll win it if you play more openly. And we saw Norway play in Sweden with plenty of stones in play every end, and they won that game. And you might think Sweden is a better team than Norway, so maybe they just feel like that's the way to beat them. Maybe they've done their background check, I don't know. But we'll see. It's only the first end. Game plans tend to change a little bit. Sometimes you think that you're going to play defensive, and whoops, all of a sudden there's 3 center guards and 5 stones around the forefoot.
Yeah, but open so far, and Andrea Pilzer here, third for Italy with straightforward nose hit. And just makes it, and interesting now to see if Norway can come around that corner guard that Italy just put up, or if they're actually choosing to take that off.
So certainly a defensive approach from the Norwegians. Markus Skogvold has skipped his own junior team for many years. This time he's going to play third for Eirik Mjøen. It's more or less 2 teams combined, these guys. I think that's going to be a problem, having 2 skips on one team, butting heads.
Or 2 good brains working together.
Or that. They're a bit different, I think. Skogvold, maybe a bit more intense, while Skip Eirik Mjøen is a bit more laid back. It'll be interesting to see how that works out, the chemistry.
I think if they are 2 good skips, then it could work, as long as they have really good communication about their roles and they take their new role very seriously. Could also, as you said, end up in a little bit of a conflict.
No conflict so far. Nice nose hit from Marcus.
And I don't think we're surprised to see that Italy is going to follow Norway on this one and go to remove the yellow stone in the house. Amos Mosander, skip of Italy. First stone of the game. Hanging a little bit wide and rolls out, which means that Norway can just draw the wing.
Eirik Mjøen, skip for Norway. Was alternate last year, although he came on to play a couple of games. And Östersund. And he also was part of the team, the Norwegian team in Perth in 2011. Was alternate on that occasion as well, played 1 game against Denmark, if I remember correctly. Obviously I played on that team, so I should remember. So, very good guy. And a good curler. Apparently had a good game against Sweden.
So again, Italy needs to remove the yellow. Would like to stick around in the house because Norway is going to attempt the blank, and you at least want them to be playing for it. Best you can do now is probably to hope for a nose hit and a force of 1.
Yep, certainly Norway just won a blank here. Keep the last on advantage. Last on of the first end. Doesn't sound too good, this one. It's a nose hit. Just a bit inside there. Don't seem to be too disheartened by it. So Norway takes 1. Yeah, the umpire put a blank up on the scoreboard. But no, it's going to be 1 for Norway. So Italy has hammer now. Do you expect them to put a corner guard in play?
Well, they did say that they were going to be defensive. So I think if Norway draws in, they might go for a takeout.
Yeah, we'll see.
But you never know.
Talking to Vice Skip Pelser, who's saying that, you know, didn't feel like he thought it was that fun playing 4 blank ends yesterday against the Czechs. So
well, in that case.
And now Norway has scored, so you might want to see them go for their 2.
It'd be nice. It's nice when teams are aggressive, at least when they do have hammer.
Yeah, less risk
It's
then.
Time to go for it then.
So you can always be aggressive, but you can always leave you a chance to score. This draw is going to be just a bit deep.
Might be another blank or open end.
Yeah, not being too aggressive here. The Italians hasn't won their junior nationals yet. I'm saying yet because apparently they play a round robin over several weekends, and the playoff stages aren't until April.
So they compete for next year's World Juniors, right?
Well,
but then they're too old.
Apparently they swap the rules up a little bit from season to season, so we're not too sure. But they won the nationals last year. And
they've also won the round robin so far.
Yep.
This year?
They're leading the rankings, and they're also second in the men's round robin, I believe.
So we expect a bright future for this team. And now, when Norway's rolled out of the house, we will see the corner guard in play. This is kind of a defensive approach you see from some teams. You'll just wait till that shot stone is either gone or in a bad spot, then you'll put up the corner guard. But now the guard zone rule is no longer in place since we're on second players, so Norway will just remove this.
jävla höja. Linjenivåerna. Ja, det är så jävla höja. Det kommer till det hacken för som T-line. Tre som är midget.
Choosing the other side for the corner guard now. Trying to make it a little bit more tricky for Norway peeling this off. But no problem there. Sheet is still completely empty.
Jag kom på att jag glömde håndkläder i garderoben. Vi trenger ikke håndkle på hver side. Spazio. Spazio, aspetta. Aspetta, sicuro. Reda sola. Alla fin. Yep. Gira.
So, well, as there's not too much action in this end, Sarah, we could obviously take a look at the other games out in the arena today. Would you like to update us on those games, Sarah?
I would love to. We have Sweden playing Czech Republic. Sweden took 2 in the first end. And so did Scotland playing Switzerland. And finally, Russia also took 2 against China in their first end.
And if you want to keep updated on all the scores out here, you can visit wjcc2013.curlingevents.com. As we see Pelser putting up another corner guard. I think maybe this is the last corner guard we'll see.
What do you expect them to do after this?
Well, if Norway blanks, I think they might come into the house. If they put up another corner guard, you might see Norway actually coming around it. So a much better end, making all the shots. Seemed a bit sloppy in the first end, kind of rolling out and all the nose hits.
Yep, no mistakes so far. Yeah, you were right. Sander call is now to get into the house. Sweepers calling T-line. And even though I don't speak Italian, I understand that.
It's pretty good.
Do you speak Italian?
Not much.
So Norway now wants to stick around instead, and they're just going to nose this. Or perhaps roll a little bit into the middle. Rolls just out of the rings. Italy now going to try and freeze, angle freeze to this to get a biter with some cover, making it more difficult for Norway to remove.
Yeah, no risk here. Yellow's outside the ring.
Linea no. Linea no. Mai, mai, spazio. Mai. Spazio. Mai. Aspetta, aspetta Iber. Aspetta Iber. Che. Yep. Go, go Saliba. Yep. Che.
Looking pretty close with this one. That's a pretty good attempt right there. But should be able to remove it without any problems. Anything from a nose hit to outside would do it for Norway.
Good thing for Italy though is there's a pretty good chance that Norway's going to roll out with this, which will make the blank a lot easier for them.
So it was a bit inside with his out-turn peel on the first end. This time looking a bit better, sounding better anyway. Peels and checks out, so I think Italy is just going to run this one through.
I would be very surprised if they play the draw. Norway discussing if there's a point in measuring that one.
I doubt it.
That would be a big miss by Italy.
Oh, proper heavy one. Last on of the second. Running that one through, and it should be a blank end. No. Yep, they're not going to be measuring that one. So after two ends, Norway still with that single point from the first end. Italy retains hammer for the third. And I don't think you'll see Norway being too aggressive. They're the one in the lead. They'll be probably throwing their first on into the rings, and then we'll just have to see if the Italians want to put up a corner guard or not.
Exactly. The Norwegian guys can right now just wait for the point when Italy is going to start making a move. Proper aiming there from the Norwegian lead.
Okay, can we play? Yeah.
So they're looking for a centre guard here, apparently, because they're calling this one just inside the house. They're keeping off it.
Nice and close. Just realized that he was using some bad language on TV. So Norway deciding to try and put some pressure on Italy here. And they're going to play the out-turn come around.
So I'm a bit surprised that Norway put up the centre guard, really. I wouldn't mind just throwing it in, let Italy do the work. But they've been pretty good at the centre guard play in the regions. Yeah. Seem to have a good draw weight.
And they also might feel like they're a strong team, and if they do put pressure on Italy, that might be the game plan.
Yeah, and now that centre guard is so close to that as well, so if anything goes wrong, you can run it back. So
yeah, it's very close, because when you come round, you quite want to have them a little bit higher in the house. This is really easy for Norway to freeze to, but if Italy were to draw that high in the house, then the run back is pretty much a gimme for these boys.
So a very nice first guard from Gauten Epstein. Now looking for the draw. Maybe you just overswept it a little bit. Maybe just a line not entirely there. Might have been an option to leave that one a bit higher. If you left that top 8 instead, it would be a lot more difficult for the Italians to come to the inside.
Yeah, but pretty much the same shot here for Italy, and the angles will be working very nice for them.
So it doesn't really remove the yellow or push it out of the forfeit, but does the job.
Lines up the red nicely behind the centre guard there.
Yeah, that Yellowstone in the forfeit might just come in handy for the Italians. But firstly, we'll see Martin Sessakin play the out-turn freeze. He's come to the face of the red one, so this end looking a bit more interesting. But they played take-outs for 2 ends now, so the draw weight's maybe a bit off here.
Yeah, a bit too much weight on that one, and it'll come to their own yellow instead. And red now sitting 2 behind the guard, and yellows are wide open for Italy.
Yeah, they're going to play a double, it seems. Maybe remove both yellows and roll a bit to the right of our screen. Skip is not looking very happy with this one. Plenty wide. And that doesn't really help too much. And I think we'll see Norway throw the same shot. So it needs to take a wee bit off of his draw weight here. First one, it's a bit heavy. Looking a lot better this time. Let's see if they get the line as well. And again, just overswept. That looked pretty good, actually. Just kept off it. And now the Italians do have a double. Only problem is if they play the double, they're probably going to leave a double rate back for the Norwegians. You could come with a quiet weight, just tap it back and sit on the yellow.
You definitely don't need to remove them. The yellows are not in a very dangerous spot for Italy right now. They should be more concerned about where they place their own. And this needs to pass the guard. Sweepers.
Not playing it too hard. Wiggle things around a bit.
Does create some separation.
Yeah, leaves the red one on the wing. Might not be too bad, but
also spills their own away from the centre guard, so they're now reachable for Norway. If they could come up to the inside here, then the situation has really changed. Need a very precise shot here.
it's going to be all over the centre guard here. Does push the centre guard over though and covers the shot stone. Or second shot.
Do you think it's possible for Italy to come down and freeze onto this one though? It's a big curl there in the end.
Well, they can, but you might just see Norway play the hit and roll off the red one on the left. So Pelser looking for the end turn freeze here.
And this one's tight, Sander. Do you think they can hold it by the guard?
No, I don't think so. It looks to be all over it. So maybe just a bit of a fresh spot come this way. They're playing a lot of out turn draws early on this end. Maybe just swings a bit more as well on the in-turn side come this way.
And now the stone that Norway was trying to get at before is a lot more open, so the inside roll is definitely there now.
Bit more weight this time. Bit of panic. I'm guessing this is a bit wide here. Can't be too wide. That's not the best result.
No, they were hoping to sit 3 after that, and instead, well, they are sitting 1. Italy with hammer and with both second and third shot at the moment. I think that means 3/4.
Yeah. Trying to run this top red back onto the Norwegian shot stone.
And just drives it by instead. Norway still with shot stone.
So I'm just going to double away these reds. I think that's a good call. You'll sit almost 3 or 4 here. And there's no real place to get cover for the Italians. Oh, doesn't quite make it. It's better off being a bit high there and rolling out. Now Italy has a chance to lie too if they want to, but
looks like they want to. That should, if they remove both of these yellow, that should leave a double back for Norway in some way.
I'm guessing they have to hit the low one first. If you hit the one on the right, have to catch it pretty thin to stick it. You'll get so much spin rotation on the stone, you'll spin away. But they're not really playing it that hard, so I think they're going for the skinny double here, which might just give them the best result. But it's a lot more difficult. That was a problem, catching it too thick, rolling out. Now Norway sits 1 and 3, and fourth shot. If you peel away the red, you're pretty safe. I just want to be a bit more aggressive. Steal here.
Jeg vil ligge med igjen. Så gjør den sikkert med 4. Men vi gjør den. Da hvis du har lyst til å call time, så gjør det da. Ja, for det, ok. Kjør den. Hva vil du ha da? 12? Nei, skal vi kjøre litt roligere? Kan kjøre vant. Kjør 12. Vant, er du med på den? Kjør 12. 12. Hvilken fart? Trøya. Eirik, hvilken fart?
This is a thing I was a bit worried about, as Marcus being a very talkative, and Eirik being quite calm and laid back, and Marcus is kind of just pitching him all different options, and often when you do that, it'll make your skip feel a bit more insecure. It's better to just let him do what he wants to. And now they swap. I thought they were playing the hit,
but they're opting for the draw instead.
Yeah, he was saying hit when he was sliding down towards the hack, and then they swapped. There's no real point in drawing, because Italy's going to get the chance to score one anyway. Might as well have thrown the hits. Italy has a double to score 2 now.
And this is pretty much down the same path they threw it last time, but an easier double, so...
Yeah, the draw came just a foot too deep. But it's going to tempt Italy to throw the double, so see what happens. But I just didn't like the way they communicated there. Skip and my skipper and Norway just too much back and forth. It's like we saw yesterday when Sweden played the USA. Swedish fourth player, Patrick, was more or less calling all the shots for himself, while third and skip, Eskilsson, was maybe throwing, giving options. But in the end, I think the one throwing the stone should be comfortable with throwing it.
This should be pretty close.
That's a perfect shot by the Italian. Well, that's 2. That was the risk, playing that shot.
So Italy picks up 2 in the third end.
Yeah.
Now leading the game, 2-1.
Yeah, left a chance for double, made it perfect.
Ja, men nå kommentatoren vår. Fjerde omgang. Også bra. Få opp noen guarder. Ikke sant? Det er greit, det.
So I think we're going to get some stones in play now. Norwegians are talking about putting up guards, etc. So we might just see a similar end. Although we might just see more play around the corner guards. Italy now 1 up. Just on the top of the 4. Roberto, our man, has had a good game so far. Looking very focused as he's sliding down the ice.
Well, it's a world championship. You should be focused if you're out there. So Italy will draw the button.
That's very nice.
And now we'll see Norway put up the corner guard.
%63%, just had a couple of sloppy shots in the very first end, but played a couple of nice ones in the previous end. Just the second one is overswept. So picking up his game, his first game of the week. And that's a nice corner guard. Would have liked that to be a bit wider or deeper or both. So much swing on the ice here. That's going to be a problem to. It's going to be a problem to play the out-turn draw here in the end. So I want to keep that in-turn side open now.
Yes, when you have hammer and you want to be aggressive, it's still so important that you make sure you leave yourself an opportunity to score one with your last. If your corner guards are not wide enough, that could be a problem.
It's just one of those small little things you might not think about until the very latter stages of the end, and then you go, oh, that guard's in the wrong spot. Whoops. I think the best teams, they really focus on every shot and try and make them as perfect as possible. You might see some teams try and wiggle around the center guard, but Norway's going for the straight draw around the corner guard, which is probably the most aggressive call at this point.
Yes, definitely. You would also see if the corner guard was a little bit wider, then maybe they would come down and try and freeze onto the red shot stone. Close to the guard with this one and ends up in a good spot.
Yeah, two very nice shots by a Norwegian lead here. So just needed that one sloppy end, I guess, to come into it. Done very well so far. Does pop out a little bit on the right side, but
it's also quite common once the game gets a little bit more aggressive that you start focusing a bit more, think more about the details of every shot. But as you said, Sander, this one actually peeks out the other side, and Italy will make a play on it from the outturn.
%75% for Daniel Ferrazza. Might just have some fresh pebble here. Looking pretty quiet on weight. Just gonna try to come to nose here, maybe inside. And yeah, it's not enough to push it through.
But pushes it back for third shot at the moment.
So playing the peel here of the center guard. might as well go for the slash and try and get the Italian second shot. Good game so far for Martin Sasaki. Looking pretty close for the double. There we go. It was a good shot. Just a bit unlucky. He catches his own yellow at the back, but does clear things up.
Yeah, it really does open up, and Italy, you know, feeling like it's a good time to take off the corner guard. Prevent Norway from scoring more than one.
Oh, this seems like a miss, I think. There we go. Just freshed it. It's never a good sign when your player just turns your back, turns the back onto the shot, halfway down the ice. Just overthrew that one. And now a good chance for Norway to get there too. Corner guard in play. Just playing the controlled weight, hit and roll here.
Not really getting the roll there, so Italy will try and roll to the other side. And that is, of course, because they want to prevent Norway from getting to use their corner guard. Andrea Pilzer curling 58% at the moment. Those are probably numbers he'd like to improve as the game comes along.
Well, that shot's not going to improve it, I believe.
Probably not, since he rolled out, and
that would be a 50% shot, I believe.
Norway can now use their corner guard.
Yeah, good chance for the Norwegians now. Markus Skogvold with the entry draw. Just hang and wait so far. Wait isn't really bad, just couldn't get the curl. And I think that's pretty open.
Control.
You're fluent in Italian.
It's definitely improving.
Although I can't say for sure.
Just believe me, Sander. So, same shot again. Want to get the roll to the away from the corner, and this one seems a bit more precise from Pilzer.
Yeah, that's a good shot there. Rolls to the pin. Could have rolled a bit further, but now I'm being very demanding.
Yeah, well, that was the skipper's call though, because it seemed like quite a nice throw, but they didn't sweep it. Definitely could have gotten a little bit more roll.
Følg med! Ja! Hard! Hard, 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 hard!
Gnosis and Italy keep working their way out to the right-hand side of the house, as you see it there. Here's also the bench.
Ole Ingvaldsen, Norwegian coach on the right there, looking a bit worried maybe. He's also coaching the men's team of Thomas Ulsrud back home. And I'll probably come out here to the same arena for the Olympics next year. So a bit of a bonus to take a look at the stones and the facilities. Amos Mozaner, 80% so far, played a really nice double in the last 10 to score 2. And now it's going to make a pretty neat hit and roll. So still looking for the roll. There's a couple of things to worry about. If you roll out, that's probably the worst thing you can do now. You'll see Italy just come around the corner guard and you'll be forced to take the one. If you make the perfect roll, you're going to be in behind the T line. You might see Italy freeze onto it and you'll be forced to one anyway. But if you make the roll, put some pressure on the Italian skip to make a nice draw. Just got to make sure to stick around here, very important. Even a no-sit isn't bad. This one is going to roll, and it's just going to cling to the ring here. So it's going to be in the open, but not too bad.
Last shot for Italy in the fourth end. Like to remove the yellow, and it would be nice if they could get a little roll towards the center line. And that was a little roll, but they needed a bit more, so still open. And Norway is once again going to try and blank.
Yeah, it didn't go so well in the first end. Same shot, really. Out-turn Peel near the barrier.
Do you think he learned?
Hopefully. Came out a bit tight, sliding a bit sideways. Now let's see. Peel for the blank. Still.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
No problem this time. And it's going to be a blank end. Our second of the game. Norway retains hammer. Still Italy in the lead, 2 shots to 1.
Vi må være litt kritiske om når vi skal åpne midten, og da hvilken serve vi gjør. Skal vi kjøre run? For eksempel der så kunne vi kjørt en myk one-take. Kjørt en myk one-take rundt den senteren der. For eksempel det kunne vi gjort, derfor da kunne vi holdt mer klare i spill. Ja, men vi må bare være oppmerksom på hva vi gjør med sendene. For det er vendingspunkt i kampen. Nei, eller omgangene. Det må være klar over.
So we're going to kick off this fifth end here.
Yeah, Roberto Arman has had a pretty good game so far. Really nice draw weight from the Italian lead. And once again, we're going to see him come down to the forefoot here.
bit off the center line, but still very good there. Good weight control. And you'll see Norway put the corner guard up on the right hand side as we saw it. That way maybe the hit and roll will be a bit easier. Well, that was easy underbrushers. Always nice when your lead throws them tight to the rings. You don't have to sweep in at all.
You're such an athlete, Sander.
Well, I play second, so if I have to pump 2 stones on the ice, and I'm going to sit down in the hack to throw a freeze.
Maybe you should do your
more
running.
More cardio work. I really should, but I forgot to bring my jogging shoes this week by accident.
There is a swimming pool. You could always do intervals there.
We'll see.
And while we are arguing about this, another good shot by the Italian lead. Maybe overcurls a fraction. It's definitely something for Norway to freeze on here.
Out to Nepstad. Really picked up his game, I think. Let's see if he can make another one here. They're calling this one close to the T-line. Just waiting for the curl here. Sweep it all the way down, boys. There we go. Super shot.
Yeah, that really is the way to throw your draws. Good weight, let the sweepers work it a little bit, but still be able to wait for line and then drag it at the end.
Yep, that's the way to keep your spot on the ice.
Looks easy.
Yeah, they're a 5-man team. They might just be rotating a little bit this week, but if you do, if you play really well, you might not have to come off the ice. How do you feel about being a 5-man squad? Is it better to be a solid 4 and then just bring an alternate to just match stones and do all that?
Well,
all
it's
that
definitely good, the fact that you can, if you're a 4-man or 4-women team, then you can definitely practice your role and really get into it, and you feel like you're always that part of the team. And I'm not sure if it's always very good if you need to worry about switching and what position will I be playing, will I be on the bench. But as long as the players are communicating well and your coach is working well with the team, then, you know, whatever works for you.
I guess the upside is if someone does get sick or something this week, you'll always have one player that's kind of warmed up and has been on the ice to play the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, that tends to happen. Now, Martin Sesakir also had a good game so far. Let's see if he can make this shot. Comes to the nose of the red one.
Yellows are lined up pretty nicely onto that red, so Italy going to need to try and find the inside of the top yellow right now.
That's a pretty good shot there. Although Norway could run this one and sit 2. But they're going to be a bit more aggressive. Play that and roll. Obviously, if you play the run, we're just going to leave a a double for the Italians. He's going to keep that freeze on, trying to hide some stones in behind in behind cover. Well, it's not too bad. Andrea Pelser has struggled a little bit so far in this game, but it looks to be pretty close with this one. Maybe he rolls a bit too far, but certainly a nice throw. I just could have swept it a bit more maybe. Now Norway can either come down with the freeze or just tap it. Calling the freeze, so really setting up the end here.
Yeah, locking another one on there really creates a nice situation for Norway.
Still 4 stones to go, so freeze here could be pretty good for them.
Curl is coming really nicely there.
That's a really nice shot. I agree with Marcus though. Should have kept it slightly higher. But it's a really nice spot. It's going to be a bit tricky for the Italians here. So Pelser's asked to just come on top of it. The nice thing for Norway with those stones frozen is you can pretty much run anything into it.
Yeah, the red shot stone is just going to fly. It's quite difficult for Italy to protect against it as well. I think what they're doing now is basically trying to make sure that they will have something to work with if Norway plays that shot. Yeah,
and this one just might be in the way for them if they were. They looked at running a guard back. Very nice shot by Pelser. It's been a good end so far. Really making all their shots.
Some really nice rolls and freezes going on here now. Really good. So straight peel, just going to remove the guard. Removes the guard and actually gets another yellow in there. Does that help them, Sander?
I'm not sure. It might just complicate things a little bit more. Wonder if should have maybe tried a nice shot here with their third second. As now the skip Eirik Moon has to play run back to lie. And if he doesn't make it, you know, pretty much forced to take a one. It's a bit tricky. So 2 options here. Either for Norway, if you run the top red back, obviously you like 2 yellows. Just wonder if is there any way to play on the yellow-red combination and pick out the red shot. They might just tick your own yellow instead. I think the Italians are thinking about guarding both the options. I think the most important thing is to guard the one closest to the center line.
It's definitely an easier shot.
Men altså
Ja, så kjører den nå, så ligger dobbelt med etterpå.
Men da setter de den garden der igjen. Hva gjør vi da? Da kjører vi den? Ok, da er jeg med. Bare til her.
Okay, so Norway just wants to remove the guard, and then they're thinking that Italy's going to put it back up, and then they want to run it back down, thinking that if they run it down now, they're going to leave a double for Italy.
I'm certainly confident. And the good thing is you always have the draw to the 1 foot here. And you're only giving up 1. So just looking for the straight peel. And then hoping to make the big shot in a second.
Good execution. Removes it and rolls off.
Spostare che questa qua così e noi restare qua. Se lo tira, quello non.
Would you care to translate, Sarah?
I've given you all the Italian I have.
Okay.
It's your turn.
I think they're just going to play the same guard.
Yep, they're probably saying put the guard back up.
I think they might want to keep it slightly higher though, so their run back's a bit more difficult.
Nei, vi får se hvor den ligger da. Men altså, tripperen bare helt ekstremt selvfølgelig for det. Beste du skal gjøre er å sitte to. Det gir deg sjumpel! Nei, for egentlig så bare... Det er sjump! Dove? Tap, Guri! Sì, allora, sì. Tap! Dove? Tap! Tap!
Looks like this one's going to be quite close as well.
Well, that's going to make it really easy for the Norwegian skip. So I'm just going to play a control weight, which is good. You know, no need to peel here.
Nope, you just need that back red to move out of the 4 foot, and that'll score your 2.
Still wearing his accreditation underneath his jacket. Not
Very
sure if you need it out there. I think he does that, so he won't lose it.
So last stone of the 5th end. Opportunity here for Norway to score a deuce.
Looking pretty close. There we go. Nicely played, and it really worked out for them. 2 for Norway, and I'll grab the lead after 5 ends.
3 shots to 2, and review to half-time. So I think they just realised their break is up 5 minutes. You see the scoreboard here. A couple of deuces, and we picked up that first in the first point in the first end. Italy will have hammer when we play the 6th. I'll be back in a couple of minutes with some highlights and the remainder of the game. So if you just joined us, we're taking a look at some of the highlights from the first 5 ends. This is Eirik Mjøen, skip of Norway. Tries a blank. The first end, doesn't do that, picks up 1 instead. Skip to the 3rd end. Last on for the Italian skip. Amos Mosander makes a really nice double to score 2 and grab the lead. fourth end was blanked. And in the fifth, Skip Eirik Møen makes a controlled run back to score 2. They now lead 3 shots to after 5. This is the World Junior Curling Championships 2013. We're coming to you live from the Ice Cube Curling Centre in Sochi, Russia. You're listening to myself, Sander Våg, and Sarah Carson. The lovely Sarah Carson.
Thank you.
The
You better not miss
Sarah
that
Carson.
once you've started. I'm getting used to you being so nice now, Sander.
I was just checking if you noticed.
I always notice you.
Captain Epstad with the first draw. Just ends up back button. I'm guessing that was a sweeping error. He's been pretty solid after a couple of sloppy shots in the first end.
Yeah, we've seen both leads with some really good setup shots in the previous ends.
Yeah, and the last end we saw the fifth there. I think more or less every player made their shots. It was a really good end. But Norway just got their stones in the best spot.
Yeah, they were patient and carefully placed their stones in the right angle, and that really paid off for them.
Legg inn i huset, så slår han ruller. Ok, hva kjører vi? Ok. Så det greit.
So looking for a top 12 result here.
4-5. 4-5.
If their first one was in front of the T-line, you might see them throw the center guard, but wants to come into the house with this one.
Yeah, no, we don't want to have a guard and a stone in behind the T-line. So drawing this in.
Comes in a foot deep, but still a very nice shot. It's been super solid.
Yep, so Italy going for the roll here. And this is one of those shots where you very often end up going for the double or nosing this instead. And
Or you might just roll out and you'll see the other team peel the corner guard, and then you have nothing left.
yeah, so really important to place this perfectly and really get the roll. Still set you up very nicely, and some really good play by Roberto Arman.
Yeah, this is a beauty right here. Makes the roll. You can see some of it, but okay, so I think they're running this one back. Just a cross nose. Wants to make sure he comes to the inside. Doesn't want to jam this one onto their shot stone. And doesn't really want to roll over to the other side. That's okay.
Ends up a kind of in between shot. You either want to get the double or the roll. So leaving the shot stone still open. And chance for Italy to spread their rings and set 2, or maybe work with their other red there. Thinking that if they roll behind the guard, they might be behind the T-line, and that'll also leave Norway a double. So the best option might be to keep it simple and roll to the other side.
Yeah, you're not going to see Norway come around the centre guard, but you might just play the head and roll. That's a good shot there, I think.
Sweepers on this from the beginning.
Yeah, still okay though. Comes close to the other end. Now Italian's going to make sure to roll here. I want to set up a double.
Need a good hit here from Farasa to set 2. Does not want to allow Norway to take them both away.
Yeah, well, doesn't quite make it. Looks like a pretty simple double.
Gets them both, really nice.
Yeah, super shot. I think Marcus was disappointed with not rolling in behind the guard, but wasn't no real need to.
So let's see if Pilzer can make the roll. Been struggling a little bit so far.
Yeah, made a couple of good ones on the
nice.
last end. And this one's pretty close. Rolls a bit too far, but certainly has picked up his game.
Okay. Yep. Okay, ren. Whoa. Sorry. Bra, meldt opp.
Norway rolls out, and Mosander now thinking aggressive. Do we draw in behind the guard, or do we hit?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. He's was looking at the draw, but they've opted to go for the hit. Probably should pick a better spot to grab their deuce. Even if they come perfectly around the guard, you might see the Norway run it back and stick it, set 2, and behind cover.
Then you're in trouble.
So a nice nose hit from Andrea Pilzer.
Men har du lyst til å rulle bak, eller skal du bare her sånn? Men da presser du dem til rullen, da. Så du bare kjappe? Ok. Hørt det? 15 da. Her. Ok. Kjør på.
does not want to roll in behind the tee line here, so they've gone for their nose hit instead.
Sitter den. Bra. Bra, Erik. Eirik. Hvis du chapper, så tvinger han til blanke. Hvis du drar her, så må han dra for poenget i sjette omgang. Vi vil blanke. Så bare chappa, ikke?
Now Norway's thinking that they want to blank. No, they want Italy to blank, and they want to try and force them to take one in the 7th end instead.
Yeah, it's a nice thought. But I think I'd play that and roll. Maybe steal one. If it was the 8th end, I'd agree. But, you know.
6th end, a lot of curling to go, and it'd be nice to have the hammer back by forcing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Okay, Dan.
Because you could have a hammer and you can blank the 7th if you want to, and then take 2 in the 8th. It's not very often you don't like to steal one.
No, just a few occasions.
Well, if you need to steal 3 to win the game, you know, once and enough.
So, no set from Norway.
Yep.
Italy's gonna try and blank. Keep the hammer.
Some big weight here. And makes it look easy. Blanks the 6th end. Still 3-2 in favor of Norway. And Italy will keep their last one advantage as we soon start the 7th end. It's always just that 1 minute timeout between every end for players to have a wee chat and the umpires to maybe put the score up on the board, or cameraman to get in place, and etc.
While we wait, would you care to update us on the other scores?
Why not, Sarah? I think you'll be happy to know that Sweden's in the lead against the Czech Republic. They're 5 shots. They lead the game 5 shots to 2. The Czechs do have hammer in the 6th end though. Scotland seems in control over Switzerland, 5 shots to 1 after 5. And China is playing Russia. And as soon as Glukov sits down in the hack, I can see the score. It's 6 shots to 2 in favor of Russia. So not too many tights came out there. This is really the tightest game out here now. So again, our producer has picked the right game for the occasion.
So Norway putting up a guard now. They have decided that they really want to force Italy to take 1 point here.
So maybe just a bit long there, that center guard. Wanted that a bit closer to the house.
And once again, you see there the numbers for Roberto Arman. He's really having a great game out on the ice here today. Super focused young man. Nice draw weight.
But this time, it's going to overcurl, catch the guard. Commentator's curse, Sarah.
Yes. But we can't really keep quiet either, because
it's our job.
That's not really our job. Yeah.
So, a couple of center guards in play. Get the next stop. Now plays the intern, draw.
Maybe a little bit too much weight on this one. Slides quite far down.
Sweeper just jumped it a little bit to start off with. But Shirley, always nice to throw maybe 3 feet too short, and so the sweepers are allowed to touch it. So it's just going to slip to just the back of the tee.
And new chance here for Arman. All of these Italian curlers from the same place, northern of Italy, up in the mountains.
Not too far from Cortina, Diampezzo, where the World Men's Championship were held in 2010. And they're not too far away from where the curling is going to be held during the Winter University Games in Trentino this year, in December, I believe. Pelser told me their curling rink is about 20 minutes away from the arena where the curling is going to be played.
That's probably going to be an exciting event.
Yeah, he was going to try and play it himself, he said, as he's aging out of juniors next season.
So once again here, Norway with just a little bit too much weight on this draw. We'll take the red and bounce off instead. So if Daniel Ferrasa can sneak this one in here, he'll really put some pressure on Norway. Just by the guard, and all the sweepers on this now. Really nice.
Yeah, it comes in for a second shot.
And we see there the importance of actually throwing your guards to your sweepers and staying in front of the tee line, as when you do that, your stones will be easier to use later on.
So going for the run back, I believe. Running his own yellow guard back onto the reds. Might just double him. Martin Sesakir. It's been pretty steady with the takeouts. Sounds pretty close with this one. You know, actually overswept a little bit as he stumbles away.
But catches them both and now sets two, so great shot.
Yeah, pretty good, but could have been better. Just needed to curl a fraction more to be absolutely perfect.
Will you get upset with your skipper if they oversweep your zone like that?
It's such a tough call. Obviously, he's not doing it on purpose, so don't need to be angry. Could always call the line yourself if you really want to.
So let's see if Farasa can pull another great shot from here. He just played this draw. It's a little bit further out now, so a different line. And not really, he comes up short there instead and actually wrecks on the guard. Big mistake from Italy, who really want to score 2 in this end. And now the chance is swapped to Norway to put the pressure on. If they can get a nice draw in here, it's going to be really tricky for Italy.
Følg med! Ja! Bare fart! Bare fart!
And really nice draw there by Norway. Sits just in front of the tee line. Maybe peeks out a little bit, so with a softer weight here, Italy can actually reach it and get a little roll over to the second yellow. And perhaps have both a little bit of backing and a little bit of cover if they make this. Andrea Pilzer. He's picked up his game, now at 73%. Gets one and gets the roll. Really nicely played.
Kjør vant! Kører det så mye ut da? Litt. Hakk mindre!
Shot stone currently belonging to Italy, but chance here for Norway to remove it and actually sit 4. Good thing for Italy now, though, after that shot, is that the forefoot will be a little bit more open for them.
Ja! Ja! Kjør, kjør, kjør! Bare hard, hard, hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep, yep.
That's a very nice shot by Markus Skogvold.
Nå tok jeg det jævla rolig. 17. Det var i vær. Fris. 4-3. 4-3. Fris. 4-3. 4-3.
So that's Italian for freeze. Or what do you think?
Yes, I'm guessing. It's not, you know, too different. At least the curling phrases. You know the Norwegian word for freeze?
Freeze?
Freeze. Yep.
This one over curling, really nice weight, but not really helping Italy there, as Norway's currently, well, they're lying 2. But once again, they have that chance to draw around this guard and sit 3. Played it almost perfectly last time, so they should have both ice and weight by now.
I think maybe you can draw the out turn here, and that's what they're looking at. No need to flirt with the corner guard.
grei.
67% for Eirik Mjøen.
Har vi plass lenge? Kommer.
I think he's played all right in this game. Just play that nose hit when he tried him blank in the first end, and after that, it's been okay.
Kjør helt på. Kjør nå, kjør nå, kjør nå, hardt. Ok, vent litt. Kjør, hardt.
And that's a very nice draw.
Stresser jeg meg, eller?
Italy thinking about the angle freeze here again, but the question is, will that get them shot rock?
Yeah, I don't think so. Got to be pretty much side by side to get shots done. Could play the intern draw, just sit side by side with a yellow stone just played by Norway. I think that might just be the call. It's a bit of a mess for Italy here. And that's the call they've gone for. Just top four. Even if they're a bit deep here, probably they'll left the same shot, and they'll have the weight in line from his first attempt. So, most important thing here is just to get a shot stone. But he's changed his mind. Well, if he makes the freeze and he's not shot, Norway can just put a guard up. That's going to be really difficult for Italy to score. Let's see, Amos Mazaner, 80% so far. Pretty good shot, but
doesn't make it for shot.
No.
I think Norway still lying best.
Jeg var litt rolig på 17, så du må kjøre ganske rolig her, altså.
Well, they're lying shot. Dare we tempted to just put the guard up? I don't really see anything else than a corner guard slash to score two.
No, me neither.
This is a bit more difficult. And there we see that's the right percentages. I thought 67 was a bit low for him. He's been playing pretty solid, so 83%. But gotta make sure those numbers improve here. And well, jams it at the back.
That was the risk, Sander. Now, is there a possible double here for Italy to score two?
Well,
or will that yellow stick?
He might just spring off the yellow one on the right hand side and come back onto their red at the back of the forefoot. So I don't think that shot's there. So looking at it, I don't think the result was too bad for the Norwegians. So they're playing this one. Now, this guy can throw some weight, Might even play a treble here. See what happens. This long guy can really throw it on the ice. Oh boy, is it hard, but needs to hit it in the right spot as well. And spins everything around. Will that one slide far enough? I don't think so.
No, and looks like a steal of 1 for Norway.
Oh, it's definitely 1. 1 yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if
1 yellow.
he was able to catch it just a hair thicker. Could have spelled everything and maybe scored 2, depending on which stone was better. Around the 8 foot there, couldn't really see, but in the end, that's a steal for Norway. So after 7 ends, Norway leads the game 4 shots to 2, and you'd imagine that Italy needs to put some stones in play here in the 8th. I like that the Norwegian boys are really talking over what they want to do, what they want to accomplish in every end. If they want to blank or force, take 2, etc., they're really playing the scoreboard.
It's always really important to gather your team when you have that 1 minute and discuss what's the goal with this upcoming end. And that way everyone will know your tactics.
Yeah, you know, if you want to force them to take a 1, you play a certain way, and if the skip ever makes maybe the wrong call, the rest of the players will know that maybe that's not the right call to get Italy to take the 1. So just nice if every player on the team is on the same page.
It definitely makes for good option Bs as well when your sweepers know exactly what the plan is and all your players know what to expect. I think this one though just bites the house. Italy needing to score a deuce here will definitely put up a corner. Bless you.
That wasn't me.
No, I think it was Pilser. So being careful with keeping the play away from the corner guard.
Yeah, if you're only going to be half buried, it'd be nice to be on the right side of the screen as we looked at it. Don't want to leave Italy to play a hit and roll towards the corner. So as you said, just want to keep play away from it. So can't quite get the line here. Again, weight's pretty good. It's not too bad by lead get to nip stop.
But as you said, it's better to be wide on the outturn side there than if you would have had the same mistake on the in-turn.
So Italy's throwing up 2 corner guards. I think that's something we see less of as the players are so good at the peels. You know they're just going to take them off anyway. But maybe just want to run a couple of stones down before they make a move.
I think they know that this Norwegian team is very accurate with their takeouts, so don't want to have all the stones in the house too early in the end. That guard is really high though. And when it curls this much, I'm not sure it's going to help.
Well, there's the miss they needed. Probably prefers to play that with the intern, but couldn't. Didn't want to risk jamming into the house.
Deep-minded. Det gjør det, absolutt.
So it looks like they're putting up another guard here. Really aggressive.
It'll be interesting to see how they choose to make a move when they decide to do so.
Skal vi ta den garden der, da? Du skal være etter den, eller? Ta den. Ja. Rulle vekk. Men her, altså? Ja. Enig. Ja. Kontrollert den. Ja, det kan vi gjøre.
Not a very good end there for Sesaker.
Well, that's two horrible shots. You're a second player, you really need to make those. And I think maybe Norway needs to start playing into the house instead. It's probably not going to get rid of all the guards now, so
you might as well protect what you already have going for you in the house.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Farasa here with a draw behind the corner guard. Gets a really nice line. Slides down a little bit deep. Still making it tricky for Norway.
Skal ta time? Hvis de klirer den da, hva gjør han da? Slår han den og ruller bak garden eller bak senter igjen? Og da har vi den etterpå. Hvis vi bare tar den her da, hvis vi tar den, så har vi i hvert fall den etterpå, ikke sant? Da drar han bak der kanskje, eller ut på siden. Ut på siden har vi kanskje en dobbel. Hvis vi bare skal klire den her kanskje. Eller vi kan prøve å dra etter. Eller stenge luka. Ja, det går an. Det her kan være greit, altså. Hva gjør de da? Da må de klire. Den. Kjør det. Det er ikke greit å stenge luka, altså. Bare på høyre siden av centerline, så alt fra den 2-3 gutter.
So when it close down the gap,
yeah,
guard a shot.
Just kind of giving up the fact that they're not going to be able to clear off the guards here. And as you said, just going to protect what they have already. looking at peeling the corner guard to expose the red one, which I don't think would be too bad. Just don't wanna bring this one too close. That's a good shot. Certainly makes things a bit more difficult for Italy. They need to really work to get their 2 out.
Yeah, it also takes away the double opportunity that they would maybe have had if that guard would have curled a little bit more. So now some finesse shots here by Italy needed. They're going to go try and hit and roll on this top yellow. They definitely need to play it by their red stone in the rings.
Really forcing Italy to work for their score, that's for sure. And you see here over curling. Option B maybe, or this? No, this is going to roll too far. And yeah, I think she just played the same shot here. Remember, Italy only has 3 stones to go, so they don't have too much time. Got to remove that yellow stone in the forfeit somehow and get a red one in there as well.
It's always great too when the player can have the same shot 2 times in a row. Definitely often see them making them.
Just a bit less weight on this one. Looking for the curl. So left a gap here. But yeah, not sure if they can get to the shot stone. They're not looking at it anyway. They're going for the top yellow. Trying to roll him behind the corner guard. And Pelser can't make it through.
And that little tap was disastrous as well.
Yeah, even closed off the gap here. And that yellow was pretty well protected.
Bare sperre litt så ikke han får dragninga. Der sånn.
Men legg så den der blir helåpen. Den bakeren blir helåpen.
Ok, ja, der da.
I tilfelle den drar.
Men skal vi legge den tight da?
Ja, 3.
Legg den på linje med den der da.
Men få den der åpen.
Den er ikke åpen den.
Den der åpen.
Den her, ja, men da legger vi den der da.
Men få den åpen.
Du vil ha den åpen?
Ja, legg den der. Så drar den rundt, så har jeg sjansen til å kjøre den.
Ja, men da kan de kjøre dobbelen. Vi må i garde den, synes jeg. Men ok, kjør den her da. Ok, nå gjør vi det.
Interesting dynamics between skip and the vice skip of the Norwegian team here.
Looking to just place this one to the left of the center line, trying to block off the in-turn draw path, plus keep their top yellow open in case Italy actually comes to the 1 foot. They have that to run their back. Okay, so looks like this one picked.
Yeah, if you speak Swedish or Norwegian, you're gonna know by what they said that something happened.
Yeah,
and it wasn't good.
I just came out there and obviously weren't happy even even while sliding, just felt something beneath the stone. So a little pickup there. Managed to get the stone into play, however.
Yep, so not much left for Italy to do now, but to try and get a shot stone in there with a draw.
Yeah, still a good chance to score 2. Just looking for the finish here. Weight was pretty perfect, but I think maybe Norwegian skip ITA-NOR can come down onto the red and just push it back. It's obviously fairly buried behind the high guard, but there's so much curl here. So you could come down and tap it, or if you want, just play the freeze maybe.
Yeah, they're also thinking about guarding it, making it difficult for Italy and Mosander to draw for 2.
Well, if you guard, you always leave an option for them to score 2. Could be nice to just come into the top of the 8, just out-count the red third shot.
That is a good point, Sander.
But they're just going to take a timeout here. Just feels like this is an important moment in the game. I want some time to think about it, and they'll be able to bring their coach down as well.
Han kan prøve wicken, kanskje. Han har wicken, Elias. Men han er farlig. Så hvis du drar ned, får en til inn på 4-foten. Så hvis du kommer ned hit, han tar wicken, får han fremdeles på rett. Hvis du legger garden, har han wicken for 3 muligens.
You see there, Skip Mjøen just looking down, realizing that something underneath his stone on his first shot. Now, coach Ole Ingvaldsen has come down to the ice to have a chat with the boys.
Ja. Så altså, din styring på det der, hvordan det der ser ut, så helt ned på fryset er bra. Greier du å stoppe høyt oppe? Altså alternativet er jo der. Ikke sant? Er du enig i det? Hva andre ting ser dere?
Eller var det eventuelt tappen sånn at vi ligger 2?
Vanskelig stein.
Ja, den tappen er for tøff, altså.
Ja.
Så jeg vil si enten der eller skåfris.
Ok.
Ja, skal vi kjøre frysen? Hvis ikke så går vi, hvis ikke så tar vi margin for å være lett, så stopper den der. Så her, eventuelt der.
So they're more or less looking at the same option we were talking about, just coming down onto the red, trying to outcount the red one, and that's what coach Ole Ingvaldsen said as well. Obviously the option is leaving it short, not bouncing off the red, so they're all aware of what to do now. Just play the corner freeze. And it's going to be really hard for Italy to score 2. Hopefully this second shot, one pick, seems to be okay. Although sometimes if your first shot picks, it might just throw you off a little bit, and you might just put a bit too much weight on it. But sweepers keeping the brushes down. So looking pretty good so far. Just got to make sure not to bounce off it. Line's pretty good here. Would like to keep an angle on it. That's a great shot. Certainly could have kept it a bit higher, but it's going to be a very difficult draw for Amos Mosander to score 2 here. It's a bit of a messy end, Sarah.
Yes, considering Norway was peeling to begin with, there's a lot of stones in play.
Just guards scattered all over the sheet.
So here we go. Amos Mosander, last stone of the 8th end. He needs a piece of the button to score 2.
Yeah, at least good forfeit here to get their deuce. It's hanging high so far. Needs to pass the corner guard, and I don't think it will. And that tick is just too thick. And it's going to be a single for Italy. Norway still in the lead then. They'll have a 4 shots to 3 lead before the 9th end. And now the boys are talking about blanking the 9th. And that wouldn't be a bad option, would it?
Definitely not. Being 1 up and having Hammer coming home in the last end is normally a very good situation.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have that scenario in every game of a championship.
Definitely. Even if you would take 1 now, that would mean that you're 2 shots up, which is still pretty comfortable. Even if your opponent take 2, that means you will have Hammer in the extra end.
Yeah, so I think we'll see Norway try and keep it clean. Don't want to put too many stones in play.
Exactly, and when we see Norway trying to keep it clean, feel pretty confident that we're going to see Italy do the exact opposite. Starting off with Roberto and center guard. Yeah, Norway don't really want to go in behind the center guard and get clustered in there, so they're going to draw the wing.
And while Gauten Epstad is watching his stone come down the ice, I can inform you that our first game is finished at this draw. That's a little while ago now. It was Scotland beating Switzerland 9 shots to 3. And after 7 ends, they picked up 4 in that 7th. And the Swiss surrendered. Sweden leads the Czech Republic 7 shots to 4. They just picked up 1. Scoreboard change as I was looking at it. And the last game out there now is Russia playing China. Russia have a 4-shot lead and last stone in the 9th end, so they're looking pretty good for their win. Back in our sheet, we have Italy, Norway.
And Italy ignoring Norway's draw to the side of the house and attempt to come around instead. Slips into the rings, and that means that Gauten Epstad is allowed to take out.
Would you ever consider putting up another centre guard here, Sarah?
Yes, I would.
That was a pretty definite answer.
Well, if you're going to get in behind there, it needs to be perfect, or you need a miss, which just happened.
Well, hasn't thrown a single takeout on this game. So I'm sorry to say he's 0% on takeouts so far this week, although it's his first game. But he's been pretty solid with the draws and guards.
He's been very solid. Sometimes that thought, because I play lead as well, that thought kind of comes into my head. If my first takeout's really late in the game, I'm like, wow, this is my first takeout. And that's not a very good thought to have just before you throw.
Well, actually, it wasn't his first takeout when I think back, all the way back to the first end. He actually had two takeouts, and they weren't really good either.
So maybe they were haunting his mind as well.
Yeah.
So Italy finds their way behind the guard, not sitting shot stone at the moment. And they're pretty close together, so not a very difficult double here for Norway.
Might get some action on the winger as well. If we can hit this in the right spot. Martin Sasakir missed two corner peels in the previous end. Wants to make up for the here. Looking close. And here we go. Just going to catch the yellow one though. Unlucky. That was a great shot. Just a bit unlucky really. But opens up everything.
That's definitely a better situation for them. Now the question was, did that yellow hit the wall? Because Italy wasn't sure. But it looks like it's supposed to stay there, so nothing to do for Mosander but to call another centre guard.
Very nice. Stone in behind the, the wide corner guard as well. So it's always nice to have a stone in there. Could end up scoring two if you're lucky. Or good. Now Italy has some work to do. Just got to put up that center guard and hope for a miss.
Guard comes closer to the house, so Norway decides it's a good opportunity to go for the double.
Yeah, even if you jam on the yellow, the house is going to be open to score the one.
Oh,
So close. Just swept it a bit too much, but it's better to be on the safe side maybe.
and up it goes again.
kan kjøre sammen. Jeg kan prøve den.
Vil kanskje heller at du kjører den, Emma?
Ok.
Litt mer risk nå.
Litt bedre.
Skogvold is feeling pretty confident about this shot, so that will be the call. Double again.
We'll have to catch it a lot thicker to make it. And it's gonna
Pick out their own.
yeah.
Maybe not the end of the world.
No, but Italy has a good chance to force Norway to take a win here.
Har vi gått an litt tidligere på den første, tror jeg kanskje. Nei, det har gått jævla rett uansett.
This time drawing to the wing, into the house.
Du skal finne ut av her. Jeg var pissredd for å kjøre dobbelt. Det er jo adrenalinet koker.
Very nice draw there to the wing. No double in play.
Norway just going to hit and try and roll them closer together. Hoping for a double blanking opportunity on their last.
Would you ever consider playing a freeze here? And then Italy might have to blast it and you'll be able to peel away the second and blank it that way.
I think that's definitely a good call. And even if you don't make it perfectly, the house is still going to be wide open for you to score one.
He might just want to, you know, keep the reds to a minimum. Don't want to be facing 3 on his last one, and it's understandable.
Gets rid of the red. Seemed to be a little bit of a miscommunication there. Does not really get the roll. And that really is a big mistake from Mosander. Rolls off with his last. And now it's open for Norway to blank.
Yeah, it would be a lot better to force Norway to take a 1 there. Well, we have seen him miss this shot before. Certainly would be a lot better to blank it and take a 1 here. So just looking to hit and run away here. Skip Eirikmuen. They'll be 1 up with hammer in the last end. Good scenario. Maybe just a bit tight here. Last stone of the 9th end. That's not enough. And they're going to take 1. So, not quite being able to blank it here, but they're going to take a point. And they'll have a 2-point lead before the last end. not the worst scenario either, Sarah.
No, definitely not. Guess the only thing is that little negative feeling that you missed your shot. But if you just look at the scoreboard, Norway is still in good shape.
On the sheet just next to ours, Russia played China. Russia picked up 1 point in the 9th end to make it 9-4, and I believe they shake hands before the final end. So Russia picks up their first win. China moves to 2 losses. The last game out there is Sweden playing the Czech Republic. The Czechs are down by 3, win last on in the 9th end. And here we have Gaute Nepstad on our feature sheet. 76%. He's pretty close to 100% on draws. It's just those 3 takeouts, I believe, was a bit sloppy. And luckily he's drawing here now, so should be able to find a nice spot for this yellow one. Perfect draw once again.
And Italy needing 2 to tie this game, 3 for the win. They are, of course, putting up a corner guard. Plenty of curl on this one. Would have liked to get it a little bit closer to the rings. Even if they do hide something in behind there, it's going to be pretty easy for Norway to just follow and get rid of it anyway.
So what shot is called here, Sarah?
Take shot. You want to get rid of... You're not allowed to remove the red, but you are allowed to move it with your lead.
I think this is one of the most difficult shots in curling, especially when they're playing barrier weight. They're playing it, up weight just to make sure you don't stick around.
Because this is a corner guard as well, so you need your own shooter to roll a long way, which means that you need to hit it very thin, and they could all tell there that that wasn't gonna happen, so they removed the stone before it even hit.
Yeah.
And the umpires were wondering what happened.
Yeah, I think usually if it crosses the hog line, you should let it continue. It's better to remove before the hog line. That's usually the rule. If you burn it before the hog line, you should take it away. If you burn it after the hog line, you see what happens. But now the Italian lead, Sebastiano Arman, just hogged his second guard. He was doing so well in this game until maybe the previous end. Played a short draw, and now one long guard, and his second's not even over the hog line, so just crackling a little bit under the pressure maybe of the latter stages of the game.
And no mistake on the peels from Sesaker this end. Looks like it might be difficult for Italy to score 2 now. They're definitely gonna need Norway to miss something if they want that to happen. think we're going to see this happen a couple of times. Italy putting up the corner guard and Norway peeling it off.
Due, tre, oh, beh vicina, forse 4-1, tre, oh, imbecille.
Yep! Yeah!
That's the miss Italy was looking for. It's a bit tougher to play those simple shots when you're the only game left in the arena. Everyone's watching, and it's the last end. It's a lot more pressure. Say last game because Sweden stole 4 in the 9th end. They won the game 11-4 of the Czech Republic. So this is the only game still going out here during this draw now.
And Andrea Pilzer is going to put up another corner guard. Bit too long, slips into the rings.
Kjør den veien hvis du liker det.
Og hvor vil du ha steinen da?
Nei, ut eller
Inni,
hit da.
Ok.
Hvilken vei vil du kjøre?
Hvilken vei vil du gå?
Just asking what way to play this one. I think they're just gonna go for the peel here. No need to stick around. Don't want to catch it too thin and wiggle around your shots, don't. No problem.
Leke med garden her da? Nei, men 4 på stand. Leker. Med den. Så den første der da, så ja, vi kan ta det her, vet du.
Italy now deciding no more corners, time to go in the house.
Yeah, it's the right time to come in now. It'd be perfectly nice to keep this one deep. You don't want to be too high in the house. The run back will be very easy for Skip Eirik Møen. But this one just doesn't have that line. It's kind of line the open.
Kjør svart? Nei, ikke svart, men den farta bra. Men hvor vil du ha designen din? Bare her, eller vil du ut hit? Stein, hva er det han antageligvis gjør da? Han prøver sikkert å dra her igjen. Hvis de allerede sitter 2 her, og hvis den allerede kanskje er bedre enn den, så sliter han.
Men det er så kanskje bare legger her da. Men da har han kanskje bare en dobbelt.
Altså, du vil dra her?
Nei.
Nei, gjerne. tar den, men jeg synes du skal kanskje holde den i spill, fordi de må spille rundt garden.
Ja, ja.
Men det er helt OK å rulle av, uansett. Kommer de bak garden, kjører vi runden.
Kjør vant, da.
Kjør vant?
Nei, kjør 15.
25. OK. Prøver vi å treffe her cirka. Det er sånn ikke.
So one thing's for sure, we're going to be removing the red one, and they're looking to keep their shooter around. I don't think they need to be too worried about that. I mean, the worst thing here is maybe just to roll 2 feet and leave a pocket. So if you roll out, it's not too bad. Just a controlled weight, needs to remove the red one here.
Yep. Get in. Okay. Vent nå. Helt vekk. Helt vekk. Han er veldig hard, jo.
That's
Sorry, jeg visste ikke om han så her.
pretty good, in my book anyway.
As long as the red one's gone, then the most important job is done. And no matter if Italy decides to freeze or to draw behind the corner now, they need to make it perfectly. Drawing behind the corner would probably leave Norway with a more difficult last shot.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're playing the freeze here. They gotta make this one absolutely perfect for not for Erikman not to be able to peel it away. And I think maybe their front end is asking a question of the Italian skip here. Not looking too sure. Could call that timeout if you're not too confident, and that's what they're gonna do. Although don't always like them calling a timeout. They might just you know, stop the rhythm of the game. But obviously, if they're not sure what to do, it'd be nice to bring the coach down. Certainly, if they come around the corner guard, it's going to ask a bigger question of Norway than if you play the freeze. So this would be Wolfgang Berba, team coach for Italy.
Happy to hear that coach agrees with us. Draw around is an easier shot to make.
Yeah, I said, basically said, playing the straight freeze is the hardest shot to make. Why not come around the corner guard? So, good to see them play the right shot then. I think I would like to just get this one all the way down to the tee line, or maybe even a bit deeper. Just don't want to allow a short run back for Norway. But again, just a bit high on line here. Just waiting for it to catch some curl. Well, maybe just the weight's off here. Looking good to me though. And it's going to settle down just in behind the tee line. That's a very nice draw by the Italian skip. Keep some distance between the corner guard and the red one. So now the option certainly is to maybe come down and freeze it. That's a very nice spot for Italy.
Question now to freeze, maybe leave a double, play the guard, and maybe leave them some sort of tap.
I think, yeah, either you come in and play some sort of corner freeze, or you play a stone like a center guard, or just top 12, or just bite the 12. That's what they're looking at. It's a tough shot, though. If you come into the rings, it might just be a double for 2. But I think this is the easier shot to play. So last stone for Norway here in the 10th end. Skip Eirik Mjøen. Just looking to nibble the rings here, just in front of his own yellow. So he's calling this one halfway between the hog line and the house. Just looking a bit shy on weight so far. Gotta get the line right. Just might be over curling a little bit here. Just maybe a little fraction.
Yeah, would definitely have liked that a little bit closer to the rings. There's a possibility for Italy now to come round and tap.
Yeah, if you look at it, the line's pretty good here. Just maybe 3 feet too short, but still looks like a difficult shot.
Yep, it's not easy, but it's there. Gonna take a lot of precision from Amos Mosander.
He usually has a lot of rotation on his stone, so it might just go a bit straighter than some players. Last shot here, 10th end. Looking for the tap back to score 2. Trying to put this game into an extra end. Sounds close. Got to get past the guard. And I think they have. Got to push the yellow one through and sit for 2. And they've done that. So great shot. They score 2. They'll tie it up 5 each. And we're looking at an extra end. Oh, the drama, Sarah.
We do love the drama. Really nice shot there by Mosander. Just managed to sit 2. That's all they need.
Hvilken fart kjører vi da? Kjører vant? Jeg er like vant. Begge stjerner kan bli like vant.
15, da tror jeg ikke så jævla fint da.
Ok, så hvilken fart kjører vi da? Kjører vi vant?
Mellomting da. Hei, kom jeg ikke rett? 16. Det er 4 på. Jeg er like vant der.
No, det är inte så
And of course, since Italy scored in the 10th end to tie the game, they will be the ones starting the extra. And now I think we are going to see 2 center guards.
So if you're just joining us here for the extra end, this is the World Junior Curling Championships 2013, live from the Ice Cube Curling Centre. There was a couple other games out there today. Sweden beat the Czech Republic, Scotland beat Switzerland, Russia beat China, And here in our future game, we have Norway, Italy. Italian skip Amos Mosander played a really nice tap back to score 2. And now we have Getten Epstad. Lead for Norway. Looking for the tick shot. Just want to move this center guard towards the barrier. It's going to catch it too thick. And you see the Italian guys will sweep their own stone, bring it out of play. That way they're allowed to replace it, because you're not allowed to remove the guards until the 5th stone in every end. But that center guard isn't quite in the right spot, is it?
No, you like when you really need to steal and you want 2 centre guards, the ideal situation is to have them on the centre line, one pretty close to the house and one pretty high up. It means it's hard to make a double on them.
So I think we're looking to come around it and come tighter to the house. This one's just going to end up in a terrible spot. That's going to be a very easy double peel for Norway. And I don't think they need to play this tick shot now. Just leave it as it is.
So calling the draw instead.
Well, his draw weight has been excellent in this game. Sweepers working it. I think they're in control. We're calling 5-6. That's usually 6 is usually the top of the forfeit. Don't want to bring it too deep.
You really want this in front of the tee line.
Well, sits in a very nice spot.
Può giocare dentro diretti, però io lo tira. Sì, qua così. Vai più centrale secondo me. Qua così.
Mosander thinking that these guards are going to fly pretty soon. He's going to put up a 3rd one to still have something to work with.
Dammi far secca. 4, 4-1. 3-4-1. Wow. Wow. Giù massa, sì.
Skal vi begynne å klire nå?
Jeg sa ikke det var ute.
Ja, det er like før, vet du. Det er shot.
Du kan prøve å kjøre den
hvis vi vil
der,
kline, så er det for hjelp til dem.
Du er jævlig god hvis du treffer den gule bak der da.
Ja, men Erik. Ok.
I think you might be able to rip all 3 here, all depending on how much space there's between those 2 red ones. If they're too tight, you'll see the 2nd red being dragged on to the face of 3rd red. They might just stick it. We'll see. Martin Sesaki, it's a big extension there. Should be able to remove at least 2 here. That's a beautiful shot right there. Didn't drag too much, and it worked out pretty nicely for them.
I det øyeblikket vi skulle gå opp, nå skulle vi gå ned igjen. Å, fy faen.
There you see it again, 1, 2, 3, really good. Nice shot by Norwegian 2nd player. That's exactly what you want your 2nd player to do when you have the last stone in the extra end.
So he's made a couple of great like double and triples Setsacker. Just missed a couple of the single ones. Doesn't do that here. So he's done his job. And this extra end. Well,
not exactly the plan, but
yeah, well,
not a bad option B.
Rolled right in front of his own yellow. Does change things a little bit. So now they're looking for a centre guard. Andrea Pilser, third player for Italy, playing his second shot here.
Eventually Italy's going to need to do something about the fact that they're going to need to set shot stone before Erik Mjøen plays his last. Right now it's looking a little bit complicated.
Yeah. I wonder if it's still possible to draw for shot. I think so. The wind fit's pretty open. Yeah, I think Norway. No, I thought maybe Norway would think about actually making a play into the house or something, but they're just going to peel off the centre guard. Keep their options open. No problem this time. Takes off the centre guard, and now Italy really needs to do something here.
Yep, it's time to draw into the rings. Calling for the freeze, maybe the tap. It's not a big gap in between those yellow. They need to line the line to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think you should just go for the dead freeze here. Try and get as close to nose as possible. If you do tap it, you might just leave yourself a little pocket to freeze onto though with your last one. Got to pass the first yellow. It's going to over curl and catch it. But still some stones in play here. Has opened up the shot stone.
Hvis du legger den her sånn, så er det mulig til å rulle en av sidene. Men da har du for så vidt knappen åpen. Farta. Ok, så vi kjører den der. Hør på den. Tvinge han til I så fall. Dra her. Ja, vi kan godt ta time-outen.
Ok. Nei. Hva tror du
So the question is to hit and roll, hit and roll off.
Han har knappen der I så fall, da.
Nei, det er bare til å rulle hit, altså.
Det er det.
Langt, faktisk.
Ja. Der. Ja. Vi kan liksom godt dra, egentlig, men nei, kjør.
So hit and roll.
Kjør 15 da.
Don't want to leave Italy the opportunity to
Hvilken vei?
use that yellow shot stone at the moment.
Hvilken vei vil du kjøre?
Well,
Hvilken vei? Den veien?
He will still have the button.
15 her da.
I think I would be tempted to just hit and roll here. Roll out. I mean, if you ever check, end up with 2 check zones in the front. Yeah, Mozaner has the intern draw to catch a piece of the 1 foot, and you'll be left with no chance to score.
Nei, nei, nei.
Almost, anyway.
Helt vekk. Prøv på den, prøv på den, gå på den. Kjør, kjør, kjør. Hard! Bra.
Does get the roll.
Yeah, pretty nice there. So always going to have the option. Was always going to have a chance to win here. I do believe Italy needs to play the intern draw. Or maybe there's enough space on the outturn. Looks pretty tight.
Martin gjør fantastisk jobb, da.
This is a very difficult draw, but there's not really any option.
If you make it, it's good, and it's there. You just need to be perfect.
It's always easy to be perfect if you're you, Sarah.
On the commentator's bench.
Amos Mozaner, skip for Italy. Faced with a difficult shot here, needs to come pretty close to the top yellow. And needs perfect weight to just snag a piece of that 1 foot. And last shot, extra end. Norway might not have to play their last shot. We're waiting for the lines, looking pretty wide so far. Will it settle down? Will it catch enough curl? Looking very close. Just going to pass the guard by a bit too much maybe. And it's not going to be enough. Just had too much ice maybe on that shot. Not going to curl enough. And Norway lives 1. They don't have to play their last shot. And we got a very tight and interesting game, Sarah.
Yes, definitely, and a really good shot by the Italian skip there. Just did not really get the line.
Deilig. Fantastisk deilig.
So you see the scoreboard here. Norway picks up their 2nd win after 2 games. So undefeated so far. Italy moves to 1-1. Interesting game. We're going to try and get an interview with the winning skip, ITA-NOR. So if you stick around for that, we'll get a couple of comments from the Norwegian, plus highlights from the game.
Erik Muen, congratulations on your second win. You're looking pretty confident out there. How are you feeling?
It feels great. The boys are getting more comfortable with being in the World Championships, and yeah, feels great to win the second one there.
Good. This team was put together just for the World Juniors. How have your preparations been?
Oh, we haven't played so many tournaments, but we have some practice in our town and then in their towns sometimes. But we put together a pretty good team, and we're hoping for the best.
Good. And what are your goals for the week?
We are aiming for the top 5.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Tack så mycket. Grattis.
So we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from this game. First in, Erik Muen tries the blank, doesn't end up that well. They play the nose hit, score 1. Italy will blank the second end, but in the third, it's Skip Amos Mosander with a very delicate double takeout to score 2 and grab the lead. Fourth end as well blanked. In the fifth, it's Erik Muen, Skip of Norway, with a controlled run back to secure 2 points. We skip to the seventh end. Amos Mosander with a heavy shot, wiggles everything around, but doesn't spill the element far enough, and it's a steal of 1 for Norway. Eighth end, lying 1 already, looking for full forfeit, close to 1 foot to score 2, just hangs wide, clips the corner guard. In the 10th end, trailing by 2, has to come close to the centre guard to play the tap back, and does exactly that. A great shot by Amos Mosander to pick up their deuce and put the game into an extra end. Amos Mosander without hammer, just drawing here. The intern, difficult shot, needs to catch a piece of the 1 foot to a live shot, but it's going to hang wide. And Norway in no need to play their last shot. They'll shake hands. Norway moves to 2 wins, 0 losses. Italy had 1 win and 1 loss. Here you see the scoreboard.